All right. Hello, everybody. I've decided to go ahead and throw my hat into the ring of people who videotape themselves doing something that they partially or fully know how to do. I consider myself maybe more on the partial side, but I do play bass, and so I wanted to share some of the stuff I've been doing, share some of the different instruments I have, kind of the sounds that they make. Maybe even share a little bit of technique, and just my thoughts in general, and we'll see where this goes. So I think the first one, it's really just the first thing that came to mind. I didn't plan this out, but I'll just talk about something for the very beginners who are playing the bass guitar. You've got a couple of hands involved here. It's important to pay attention to them independently. So when it comes to this hand, and I'm going to talk about playing with my fingers as opposed to with a pick. Pick might be something that we cover another time, but I'm not really a great pick player. So essentially at the end of the day, you can see here that I'm just pretty much going one finger after the other. And keeping this order is important until you come up with a reason otherwise. And you'll notice that where my thumb ends up is keeping the string above where my fingers are doing the plucking quiet. And you might, really need to rest and use something to put your hands on, or you might be able to just hover. But once you get over these strings, it's really good to use your thumb as a mute to keep things quiet. If you're wondering what the whining is, I've got my dog here in the room with me. She really likes to play with her toy, and she's a little upset that I'm not entertaining her right here at the moment. So basically 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, so there's the fundamental of that hand. Then a good way to start off with is a structure, and is to focus on, I was a student of Joel DeBartolo, who was the bass player for Johnny Carson and Doc Severinsen back in the days of The Tonight Show when Johnny Carson was hosting it. And he continued to play for Doc even after that, while I was the student for him. And really focusing when it comes to whether you're left or right-handed, the hand that's fingering the fretting is to really start off by focusing on these 4 frets. And you got 4 fingers, 4 frets, and open. So that gives you... And right there what I was playing is a really good basic exercise to get you started, right? You might not spread your fingers out so much and do a little more shorter attack, staccato they call it. But the idea is to play all 4 strings, all 4 frets. You can include the open one, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5 if you want. Just as valid as far as the exercising of the fingers. So you want to just work on that 1 2 1 2 1 2 with your fingers here, and the 1 2 3 4 with these. Whether you choose to do the open string or not is up to you. The main part of the exercise is getting 1 finger per fret. And then as you progress, and you start getting a handle on it, one way to, I guess, make the exercise a little more interesting is to, after you do it, then move up a fret. So there you go. Good basic exercise to get you started. After that starts feeling pretty good, and start off really slow. Take your time. Try not to spread your hands out too much. Try not to create too much tension. Your hands, you want to try and keep them as relaxed as possible. You are going to be building up new muscles if you're a beginner. You don't want to overexert yourself, so spread your practice out. Getting a little sore is good. Getting a burning, long-term burning that lasts is a bad thing, because that's the tendon starting to become inflamed. So start off easy, build your way up to it. Then after you're doing this, progressing up the different frets, you can start doing different patterns, and this is really good exercise for, and the next topic is how you keep your hands while you're playing. Now notice I'm not playing like this, right? Which is very natural for people to do when they're playing, is you want to keep your fingers down. You know, they really should only come up high enough to clear, right? So you don't want to do that kind of stuff. You want to just keep it down low. And doing different exercises, like I'm doing first, third, second, fourth. First. And really focus, again, start slow, focus on keeping the fingers down. And then you can work your way up the neck and come up with different patterns. Like a really cool one, I think I recall, goes across 2 strings, right? And it's just about coming up with all the weirdest patterns that you can imagine, and then, excuse me, getting faster and faster at those, and just continuing to work on building that technique. All right, so that's it for this first recording. I hope this is of value to somebody out there. I'm going to try some different topics. I just happen to think of something basic. I will make another video shortly talking about this particular bass, and then I will move on to other instruments that I happen to have in my possession, and hopefully it'll be some information that you guys will all be interested in. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.